same-sex marriage is settled law and some kind of constitutional right and blah, blah, blah. I don't agree with that either. And I'm glad Clarence Thomas has a pair and is letting them hang and is telling people exactly what he wants to do. So it's finally here. They've done it. We heard about the leak a month ago. Chaos, I'm sure, is going to follow. And again, that's one of the reasons why we've been doing this show and trying to promote a fearless attitude, because the battle's not over. There's likely to be some social unrest because that's the way the other side fights, and they're being lied to. And so I want to play a clip from Nancy Pelosi earlier today. And the thing that blows my mind is these politicians are elected and their job is to uphold the Constitution. I don't even think they understand the Constitution. Here, Nancy Pelosi has been in politics for nearly 50 years. I don't know if she even understands the Constitution. She thinks that the right to an abortion is a constitutional right. It was a bad judicial decision. It's not a constitutional right, but here's Nancy Pelosi melting down.
There's no point in saying good morning, because it certainly is not one. This morning, the radical Supreme Court is eviscerating Americans' rights and endangering their health and safety. But the Congress will continue to act to overcome this extremism and protect the American people. Today, the Republican-controlled Supreme Court has achieved their dark, extreme goal of ripping away a woman's right to make their own reproductive health decisions. Because of Donald Trump, Mitch McConnell, and the Republican Party, their supermajority in the Supreme Court, American women today have less freedom than their mothers. With Roe and their attempt to destroy it, radical Republicans are charging ahead with their crusade to criminalize health freedom. In the Congress, be aware of this, the Republicans are plotting a nationwide abortion ban. They cannot be allowed to have a majority in the Congress to do that. But that's their goal. And if you read, and again, we're all studying all this, but if you read what is in the very clear, one of the justices had his own statement. It's about contraception, in vitro fertilization, family planning. That is all what will spring from their decision that they made today. It's such a contradiction. Yesterday, they say the states cannot make laws governing the constitutional right to bear arms. And today, they're saying the exact reverse, that the states can overturn a constitutional right for 50 years, a constitutional right for a woman having the right to choose. The hypocrisy is raging, but the harm is endless.
So the Second Amendment is a constitutional right. It's the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. And so for a Supreme Court to say, hey, look, you can't infringe upon this right that was the Second Amendment. It's fundamental to the U.S. Abortion, there is no abortion amendment that I'm aware of. Is it the 25th? Is it the 28th? Is it the 3rd? Is it the... Name the amendment or name it where it's a constitutional right. What they're actually saying is that this wasn't part of the Constitution. It's not a part of the Constitution. Therefore, the states need to decide this individually. There is no hypocrisy. There is no contradiction here between the decision they made yesterday about gun laws in New York, because again, the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, that means it was there. Was the Constitution ratified in 1787, I believe? And so it's been there since then, and you can't infringe upon it. And so there has never been a constitutional right to an abortion. So she's just lying, or she doesn't know what she's talking about, and she's incompetent and doesn't understand the Constitution. Now, what she is referring to in a gutless way, because she should have called out the name and been very specific, Clarence Thomas did write his own separate opinion, which I applaud him for. And he said, and again, no one else signed off on this, but this is Clarence Thomas, that like, hey, look, the way we just ruled today on Roe v. Wade, or I think this thing was called Dobbs, the way we should apply this same thinking to same-sex marriage and contraceptives. That's his opinion. I happen to agree with him. I don't, this whole thing of like same-sex marriage is settled law and some kind of constitutional right and blah, blah, blah. I don't agree with that either. And I'm glad Clarence Thomas has a pair and is letting them hang and is telling people exactly what he wants to do and how he wants to interpret the Constitution. That's the kind of fearlessness and manliness we actually need more of in America. Don't hide your agenda, say exactly what it is, and then let's have the debate, let's have the argument. Hats off to Clarence Thomas. If that scares Nancy Pelosi and the other people, I don't care. But today is a great day, particularly for those of us that believe it's been wrong and unfair for the United States of America to take a position on abortion. And we don't want that as one of our founding principles. That mindset is corrosive. And that mindset of how we don't value life, it starts in the womb and how we feel about what's growing inside of women in their wombs. It's how we feel about life can be expressed through how we feel about the abortion issue. And as a country, we shouldn't be pro-abortion. Now, if people in their states elect people and vote in people and have politicians, and that's how the state feels about abortion and wants to make it readily available all the way through birth, the United States of America grants that freedom. And you're more than welcome to move to one of those states. If you're in a state that prohibits that, you're more than welcome to leave it and go to another state where that freedom is readily available. There's no infringement upon women's reproductive rights. There's plenty of free. There will be states across America where women will have access to an abortion. And in some states, probably California, they're debating, and again, they're legitimately debating whether you can kill a child after birth. So you can move to those states. They got great weather, the whole nine. High taxes, great weather. You can go live out there.